Hey guys, it's me, Halloween Dan, and today I'm not doing my usual kind of video. I'm not really talking about anything I've bought or anything like that. I'm talking instead, I'm telling a story. That's what I'm doing. I'm telling an absolutely amazing story, something that's happened to me that I cannot quite believe. That to me is the epitome of kindness and generosity. A story that if you'd have told me this was a possibility, that this could come true, it would have been like trying to believe in a fairy tale, because I genuinely, this is how big of a deal this is to me. So let me get into this. So you guys might remember a few weeks back I did a video where I reviewed the new props coming into Home Depot for this year. And amongst all the very cool props, there was one that amongst the group that stood out head and shoulders for me. And that was Lethal Lily. There was just something about this prop, the movement, the realism, the phrasing, the realistic look of her, everything, the eye blinking, everything about her ticked the boxes that make me love animatronics. This looked like something that belonged in a Disneyland theme park more than being sold on the shelf of a store. And then add that she was a witch, and it was just like home run for me. But like all these awesome American props that I do from time to time review, in reality I always have to accept that I'm never going to own any of them. I love them, I enjoy them, and I like reviewing them. And I even get excited about them. I get almost excited for you guys on that side of the pond getting hold of these things. But I always have to accept that I'm not going to get one. They're not going to be for me. Because trying to get these things to the UK is hard. You either have to rely on a third party, or it's extortionately expensive to ship yourself. People do it. People do it all the time. I've never bothered talking about my expenses and stuff, but you know, I work a 9-to-5 job. I have a family, I have a house, I have all the things that need to come first. So I always have only a certain amount of money left over to spend on Halloween. I have to be incredibly careful about where I spend my money. I can't just go chasing every dream prop that I want. And to get something like Lethal Lily into the country, a friend of mine had looked into it, hi Si, it was going to be like $700 to $800 to get this thing legit into the country, or you had to wait for some seller online. So it just wasn't going to happen. I don't have that sort of money to spend on one prop. It's not going to happen. But then, into this already sort of flailing story, steps our hero. Every story needs one, and our hero in this particular story goes by the legendary name of Chris. Chris is a guy who's been subscribed to me for some time. He always likes my videos, comments in the comment section. Just a really good, like the sort of subscriber you always want to have, basically. But apart from a few little mini conversations in the comments section of my videos, I'd never really had an awful lot of interaction with Chris. And on this occasion, I put that video up. He made a comment, how good the props were. I commented back, agreeing, and that was about it. But then, maybe a day or so later, I can't quite remember because my mind kind of exploded. Chris did something, messaged me something that completely blew my mind, completely shattered all my expectation. He commented saying, if you could get Lethal Lily for $250 US, would you be interested? ? Now, just at that single statement alone, my brain practically melted and my ears picked up, and I was thinking, yes, but how? Because I kind of knew that Lethal Lily was at least that, $250 in the US, so how could I get her for that? And as I read on, it became even more mind-blowing, because it was at this point that Chris says, quite nonchalantly, and I'm paraphrasing by the way, this isn't exactly it, but he basically says this: I've bought the witch, but I'm offering her to you. I'll send her to you, you can get her, and when she arrives, I don't want reimbursing for the price of the witch, just for the shipping. I practically had a mental breakdown. I had to reread that message about 17 times before I was 100% certain I could tell what he was saying, because what it kind of sounded like was that this guy I'd never met before on the other side of the world from me was going to buy me a witch and send me her, and all I had to do was pay for shipping. And that kind of sounded irrational. But after rereading the message a lot, I quickly realised that is what Chris was talking about. That was what he meant. I couldn't believe it. Now my heart just wanted to say yes. It was like, say yes, say yes, say yes, say yes, say yes. But my brain don't work like that. And I couldn't bring myself to say yes to Chris's very generous offer because it felt like it was too much. It was too grandiose of an offer, and part of me wondered whether he really understood what he was offering in a strange kind of way, whether he understood the full ramifications of how amazing this was. And I just thought to myself, it almost felt like I'd be taking advantage, even just thinking about it, thinking about saying yes. It felt like I'd be taking advantage of somebody else's kindness. And I couldn't do that. I'd feel too bad about it. I'd be looking at that witch for the rest of time thinking, oh gosh, I basically took somebody else's witch. So I commented back saying, thank you for the very generous offer, Chris, but I can't accept this. It's too much and I'd feel too guilty about it. But Chris, oh no, Chris wasn't having any of that. And he commented back going, are you sure? Because this was kind of the plan from the beginning. This was kind of what I was expecting to do with the witch. I want you to have her. Paraphrasing, but that's basically the gist. At which my mind kind of melted again, because now this amazing person who was not only offering to just send me a witch, but he'd actually bought the witch with me in mind. And I was truly stunned. I was stunned by that level of thoughtfulness and generosity and kindness. I couldn't believe it. I was really knocked out of my socks. Eventually I managed to get Chris on Facebook Messenger where I could talk to him a bit more in depth about it. And I basically spent the next couple of days trying to talk Chris out of it. Basically saying, are you sure? I don't think it's a good idea. It makes me feel a bit uncomfortable. I'm not sure. Have you thought it through? I'm not sure how to do this. I'm not sure how I'll send you the money for the shipping. Blah, 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 blah. Chris was quite just chill about the whole thing. I don't think he grasped how big of a deal this was for me anyway. He just saw it as something nice to do for somebody else, and I saw it as a massive thing. So eventually I kind of got down to the nitty-gritty and I messaged Chris saying, look, right, this is so generous, so kind. I can't believe you're thinking about doing this, but I think you should keep the witch. I think you should keep her for yourself. I don't want to feel guilty about this for the rest of time. I don't want to feel like I've kind of robbed somebody of their witch. I want you to keep her, and thank you for the offer though. It's so generous as it is. I just think it's better this way. And it was at this point that Chris messaged me a very short message, and again I'm paraphrasing, but the message had this kind of tone of, dude, chill. He basically just said, I bought 2 props. One's for my niece Ellie. Hello Ellie. I said I'd say hello to Ellie. I know you watched with your uncle. Very cool dude indeed, such a legend, and thank you for watching, Ellie. This video is dedicated to the both of you, both Chris, Uncle Chris, and you. I bought a prop for my niece, and I bought the witch for you and your family. Just think of it as a way of saying thank you for the fun videos that Ellie and I enjoy watching. I know that you and your family will get a lot of enjoyment out of this. And if you can, throw my name out there, way of a shout out. Consider it done, Chris. And at that point, after that message, my heart kind of melted a little bit, and I realised that there is such a thing as being a bad receiver of a gift. Like, if someone's offering you something, and once you've been polite and kind of gone, oh, no, don't, it's too much, it's too much, there comes a point where actually after a point of refusing it, continually refusing it, it starts to be a bit rude. And I'm not gonna lie, I wanted this witch, I really did. So eventually, after that, I kind of said, look, fine. You know what, Chris? I will accept your very, very generous gift. I can't believe you want to do this, but thank you, and I will accept it happily. I will happily have Lethal Lily the Witch, and I will happily send you the shipping, which I will do as soon as I figured out how to do it via PayPal, I promise. And that was that. And then it happened. And the reason I'm making this video today, and why I didn't make it yesterday or the day before, is because today, people and Chris, Lethal Lily arrived. It only took about a week and a half, which I was quite surprised at, but she's here. I've only peeked inside the box. She all looks intact so far. She looks pretty good condition. I've not put her together or anything. I'm going to do an unboxing. We will do that. But before we get into any of that, I just wanted to use this video to say thank you to Chris. I get the impression that I don't think Chris knows how amazing this is. This is without a doubt probably, if not one of the most generous things that anyone has ever done for me and my kids. My kids were so excited about the idea of owning this prop because we're going to be one of a very small handful of people in the UK that will. And it's absolutely mind-melting to me that somebody would go to this level for me and for my family. It's not just about the prop, and it's not just even about the expense of the prop. It's about the effort and the thought process, and just somebody to be that kind and generous and thoughtful. You don't see it every day. You don't get that every day. And I want you to know, Chris, if you're listening, how unbelievable this is. I want you to know that you might think it's nothing special, but it is special. It really is, man. I'm so unbelievably blown away by your generosity and just all of it. Absolutely all of it. And my kids are so thankful too, and I'll get them to, they're going to be in the video where we put the witch together, so they'll probably say thank you then. Ellie, if you're listening, give your uncle a great big hug, give him a fist pump and a handshake from me, because I can't do it. I live on the other side of the world. But that's the amazing thing about the internet and this community that I've sort of weirdly gathered around myself. We might be separated by thousands of miles, but through this, we're linked. And now with this prop, we are forever linked. We are forever going to be friends. We might never meet in real life, but that's enough. That friendship, that bond will always be there because of this amazing, generous thing that you've chosen to do. We're all taught that the internet's a dark, shocking, horrible, seedy place. And it is. There are parts of it that definitely are, and you have to be careful. But if this whole thing proves anything to me, and in fact, the whole time I've done this channel, I've been continually and pleasantly surprised by the amount of truly nice, generous, friendly people I come across all the time. Even if that kindness is just a nice comment in the comment section. It's a lovely thing to hear when people appreciate what you do. It's so rewarding to hear that, when people actually take the time to write a comment and say, I love your videos, I enjoy what you do. Chris has just taken that a whole other step forward, a step that I do not expect from any of you at all, including you, Chris. But I am so thankful for what you've done, and my kids are as well. We're all absolutely over the moon with this. And we will treasure Lily. We really will. She'll look so good in my horn, and she will be used to make money for charity. We will make, I hope, even more money for charity this year. I'd love to be able to do that. I can't really say much more except thank you, a million times thank you. We will be forever grateful to you. Before I go though, I want to just say to each and every one of you, as if you're watching this video, I want you to fill the comment section with love for Chris. I want you to fill it. Every one of you, if you can, just write something nice, how thoughtful it is, how amazing it is, how generous he is. I want you to really big this man up, because he is an absolute legend. Chris, you're a legend. And with that, guys, we'll leave it there, because I could basically just sit here saying thank you forever. So Chris and Ellie, absolute legends, the pair of you. And I will see you in the next one when, funnily enough, we'll be unboxing something and putting it together. I wonder what that could be. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep it spooky. Bye.